I want to hear the angels sing right about now. You'll know what I'm talking about right as soon as I show you these two super rare plants that I picked up a few weeks ago. I've been waiting for them to basically rebound from being repotted in these perfect, lovely ceramic pots that they're new home to, and talk all about the Ring of Fire Philodendron. Let's get into it. Before I get too far and too carried away, once again, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for future rare plant videos just like this one that I'm about to get into. So, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a new sheriff in town. The new sheriff is known as the Ring of Fire Philodendron. And I got, well, I would say pretty lucky. However, I paid a hefty price for these rare breeds, and that's because they're super hard to come by. They're super hard to come by for many different reasons. Propagating these is not a walk in the park. You know, you could try air layering, you could try cuttings, but your success rate is going to be slim next to none. Think of Thomas Edison trying to invent the light bulb. That's about how easy these are to propagate. But aside from that, I'm lucky because somebody did all the hard work for me, and all I have to do is tell you about it and how I've been keeping these alive. These do not want to dry out. That is, before you do anything, that is rule number one. That is words to live by. Don't let these dry out. And that's the biggest reason why I chose a ceramic pot for the home of these, because they will give you all kinds of problems. They're already slower growers to begin with, but once you let them dry out, they will start working backwards. And that is not what you want. So, with that being said, I mean, I personally think that's the way to go. They really have shown no issues on the repot, but I just think terracotta is going to give you, you're going to be watering all the time. You're going to have to hover over them and monitor that moisture level. However, I did still keep them pretty tight in this pot. I do not want to over pot too much. So there wasn't a whole lot of extra soil that went in to these pots themselves. I used a regular potting mix. It's still that HP by Pro Mix is the mix that I use. The HP stands for high porosity. There's a bunch of perlite in it. There's mycorrhiza in it as well, which is really good for the plant health. But I've even noticed a couple new leaves in the time that I've had it, over about the month. I don't really expect any more leaves to come anytime soon. I'm sure they're going to go dormant. It is mid-October right now, so in the Midwest, everything is getting pretty sleepy. Like I said, I've just been keeping these evenly moist. I water once a week. I just make sure that these do not dry out. And I can probably scale back on the watering now that they're actively going dormant. I might do every week and a half, maybe even every 2 weeks. But I definitely am going to be watching closely for many different reasons. So, you know, if you get too much light for these plants, the light, well, this is the golden. I didn't formally introduce. We got the golden, and then we got the Ring of Fire. They're both Ring of Fires, but the golden's going to get brighter with a lot of light, and the Ring of Fire, I do believe that there's going to be more vivid coloring. If this gets too little light, it'll start to get dull. So what I really want to see is the multicolor aspect that's going to happen with the regular Ring of Fire. What I've been reading is there's up to 5 different colors that I can see, and the leaves are variegated. So it's like you get the green, yellow, orange, red, and I'm sure some other random color. So I'm up for a surprise, but I've only seen 2 of these in my garden nursery. Just I'm just gonna throw it out there. This one was going for about 115 bucks. For the one I saw that went for that price was much smaller than this. I'm not gonna tell you where I got them, but I'm just letting you know for such a teeny tiny plant, they're fetching a super high price. That tells you how rare they are. I didn't pay really anywhere close to that, but I'm just telling you the prices these can fetch so you're not blindsided when you see them out and about. And I saw this one go for about 79 bucks, 80 bucks for a plant. You know, I don't know what kind of change you guys have out there to throw around, but for plants, that's really nothing to scoff at. So that just gives you an idea that these are super sought after, very rare, and that I want to make sure that you get the proper details so you uphold the best possible care that you can give, because I don't know about you, but I just don't like throwing money away. So all is good. It's been about a month and they're still alive. So my investment has been properly upheld. Now, the light that I've been giving these is bright indirect light. Bright indirect, so I've got big south-facing windows. They're about 3 feet away, something like that. And there's a little bit of other plant foliage that kind of makes it more of a dappled light. I just don't want them to they can take more bright light, but I would just keep it really at a bright indirect light and you're going to be a-okay. Oh, let me go back to watering real fast. I almost missed a very crucial, vital component of watering, and that is these, as well as many other philodendrons, cannot tolerate fluoride and chlorine in their water. So whatever you do, whatever you have to do, make sure that if you got to sit your water can off to the side for 24, 48 hours to let those gases and the fluoride and the chemicals dissipate, try that. I have a whole watering system for all my plants. I might even make a video on how I rigged that up. I rigged it up underneath my kitchen sink, and so I can use my plumbing as a indoor water hose. Super neat. And I hooked up a filtration system to that takes out all the chlorine, the fluoride, all that other stuff, and then attached a regular water hose. It's kind of extreme, but it's the only way I can do it with the amount of plant matter that's going on in my apartment. So outside of that, the humidity, so important that you keep a high humidity. I've got humidimeters placed strategically all around. I would recommend you do the same. If I can find a nice humidimeter for you to buy on Amazon or Etsy or whatever, I will post that link with the quickness, because these want at minimum at least 60% humidity around them. And they're a tropical plant. Like they deserve it. They worked hard to make it this far. The least you could do is give them a little bit of humidity. So I keep these on, of course, a pebble tray, a tray with pebbles around it. And it just slowly lets the water in that tray disperse and humidify the plants. You can group these around other plants. They will all kind of like just share in, bask in the glow. They'll kind of share the ambient humidity with each other. I guess it's just like homies looking out for other homies is the best way I could put it. But that's another great way to, get your humidity right. And last, for humidity, you can obviously take a sprayer and spray your plants down, but don't get too carried away. You do not want water just sitting on these leaves. They will start to give you problems. They will invite problems that you don't want to have, like pests and other fungal diseases that are never make for any type of good time. So I'm just telling you, be careful when you go spraying willy-nilly with your little water gun or whatever you got, because they may or may not think it's that much fun. So outside of that, that's what I've been doing. I, once again, just can't stress enough. Keep it evenly moist. Give it bright indirect light. I personally would use a ceramic pot, but just don't pot it up too much. You will have a whole host of other problems, and then you can just lay back and enjoy because you did all the right steps. The plant will thank you. There's so many other cool things that it'll do. It can climb up a moss pole. It might be somewhat of a hanging. I personally wouldn't, let it hang. I just feel like the stem here is a little too fragile. It's very delicate, and I wouldn't want a whole lot of weight just anchoring it down. But it is a very it's a very expressive plant. Both of these, I will give you a little close up, and let me know if you have one of these already. Post in the comments what you've been doing, or if you just got one, let me know. Like, hey, I'm fired up. I just picked up one of these Ring of Fires, and I'm stoked, and we can throw a party. But that's what I got for the Ring of Fire. Thank you so much for watching, and be on the lookout for some more of these cool videos that I got in store.